Hello everybody and welcome to this video. Today I'm going to be talking about the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction that is happening April 2022. I believe it's on the 12th. Don't quote me on that. But I'm here to talk about what I think about this energy and kind of what I'm going to be looking out for and just, my insight on how I feel like this energy is going to manifest in our lives, of course, depending on where this conjunction is hitting in your chart. So, right off the bat, I want to say that my analysis on this transit is mostly based on the degree that this is happening, okay, and the decan. So, this conjunction is happening at 23 degrees Pisces, and 23-degree Pisces is a part of the third decan, okay? 23-degree anything is a part of the third decan. So, what is the third decan of Pisces, if you didn't already know? So, Pisces is split in every other sign. And so you have Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. Okay, and this is just kind of the way that it is laid out in the chart. And the first decan is always the decan, it's natural, whatever it is. Then you go to the sign after it. So it's like, what's the water sign directly after Pisces? And then what is the water sign directly after Cancer? And that's how you have the decans of each sign, but specifically Pisces. So this conjunction is happening in a Pisces Scorpionic decan. Okay, and I'm so excited to talk about this because I have a lot of Pisces energy in my chart, and I have always been very fascinated by Scorpionic energy, and so I'm actually really, really, really excited to talk about this. Okay, so before we get started, we have to know what is Pisces and what is Jupiter, what is Neptune, and what is Scorpio. And I sometimes get tired of talking about the basics. You know what I mean? Like when you're like, okay, this is Pisces, and then this is this, and then you add it with this, and then you put it all together. But I have to start somewhere, right? So with Pisces being the natural rulership of Neptune, according to modern astrologers, and then Pisces being the natural ruler of Jupiter in traditional astrology, we're going to have a lot of Piscean energy. Like this is like an overload of Piscean energy in these two planets that feel very comfortable in Pisces energy. Okay. Now, what I find really fascinating is the fact that it's in a Scorpionic degree. Now, what's even more interesting is that once you get into the late degrees, you start getting into the maturation of a sign. So if you've noticed anybody that you know, or just in general, but mostly like I notice with like people I know that have late degrees in their chart, they're very mature. Okay, it's the last degree, so they're very, very mature, and it is this energy of having a lot of wisdom. Okay, once you get into the third decans. So Pisces is to me the energy of the void. Okay, and when I think about Neptune, right, Neptune is kind of like this high life energy, like, I'm high off whatever, like that's Neptune. I'm high off love, I'm high off drugs, I'm high off, whatever it is, like I'm high, I'm here, hello. And then when we have Jupiter is about wisdom, and didn't even think about this before, but wow, this is beautiful, right? Because with Pisces, with Jupiter and Pisces being in the last degree of wisdom, I think that's actually really beautiful, to be quite honest. And so when I see Pisces here in this last degree of Scorpio, which Scorpio is about death and transformation and merging of energies, and really it's also this energy of secrets, and what you keep in the dark. And so, like I said earlier, Pisces is the void. Scorpio is the dark. So when you think about the dark corners of your room, the dark corners of your mind, whatever the case may be, okay, that is Scorpio. And so what I think is really interesting about this conjunction is that we have the void and we have the dark coming together. I personally do not believe that the void and the dark are the same. They're not. The void is always ever present. Always, you know? But the dark is specific. You know, the dark is on purpose, if I want to say. So what I see with this conjunction is kind of like whatever has been in the dark for you, whatever you have purposely, right? It's not because you've been in the dark because you know you weren't meant to know, or because you have been kind of not really paying attention purposely or whatever. Like, I don't see it like that. I see this because we're talking about us personally, right? How this transit is going to affect us personally. Yeah, of course, also as a collective, right? Of course. But I really want to reiterate, like, you want to look at where this energy is happening in your chart. So with this conjunction, I really see this as like whatever you have been storing in your closet, okay? You could have been storing it for a later date. You could have been storing it because you're ashamed. It doesn't matter why you've been storing it there. And I see this as give it up to the void. Just give it to the void, you know? Clean out your closet. And it's interesting, right? Because Pisces is kind of like that energy of like not cleaning, right? If you catch my drift, because you have Virgo, which is very perfect and clean and orderly. And then you have Pisces, which is very messy and disorganized, right? And you also want to look at, okay, what's going on the other side. So Virgo, this conjunction, being that it's at 23-degree Pisces, will also highlight 23-degree Virgo, okay? And 23-degree Virgo is the decan of Taurus. So you have that Taurus Scorpionic axis where you have, you know, our possessions and our valuables. And I see this as really uncovering as well. Scorpio is kind of about revealing these things that we want to keep in the dark. And I see it as like your spiritual resources. You know, what did you come in with from a past life or from yesterday or whatever that you can use today, or you can use for wherever this energy is hitting your chart. Can you tell I'm tired of saying energy? I need to come up with another word. So, one analogy that I kind of thought of before I started recording this was, remember, Scorpio can be seen as this last call. Not like Pisces, you know, like, but what I mean by last call is, this is the analogy. Let me just say the analogy. So think about somebody who always does drugs. You know, they're always doing drugs, and they're probably always going to the hospital to get their stomach pumped. And after a couple of times that they get their stomach pumped, let's say like 3 times, you're like, you're kind of like, okay, whatever. This must be this person's defining characteristic or something like that. Then, let's say the 4th time, they take something a little bit different, you know? So let's say everybody was made aware, right, of everything that they took. So maybe they took like 4 different types of pills, including with these different types of powders or whatever, right? Which powders are pills, but anyhow, they took these, and that has been the constant flow of, you know, what they've taken. Everybody pretty much knows what this person takes. But this time, they took something a little bit different. And because they took something a little bit different, nobody knows if they're really going to make it. Like, this time, people are like, wait a minute. Yeah, they're done for. Like, they added that, they're done for. So that's a little bit of the analogy that I see between what's happening with this conjunction. Or more so, yeah, that's the analogy of what I see. Another analogy that came into my mind is like blackmail. So these are kind of like obviously lower end of the spectrum, starting with that. I could see it as like, because scorpionic energy is kind of like there's no coming back, right? So when you think about blackmail and why people get into it, a lot of the times is because what? Somebody has something over them. And they kind of feel like, okay, well, if I don't do this, my life is over, okay? And that's why I can see that analogy between Scorpio and how it's happening in the Piscean sense, because Pisces is about letting go. Pisces is when you're at the end, you're ready to go, you've accepted, you've done it all, and you're ready to transform. You're ready to die in a sense. And I see this as, well, where are you ready to let go and die in your house? Well, in your chart, in your life. And that's how it's going to, you're going to see it in your chart. It's going to happen. But it'll show you, to be more aware, to be more conscious of where it's happening at anyway. And yeah, if I lost my, I kind of lost my train of thought a little bit because I had to pause the video and do something. So I was just kind of like, yeah. But yeah, so I'm really excited for this conjunction. Again, Neptune is about the high life. So wherever this conjunction is happening, it's going to show the high life. It's going to show maybe you have some secrets in your closet because you don't want people to know, because you don't want them to try to divert the energy that you have towards your dreams and your goals, or whatever it is that you're keeping safely tucked away, but sometimes it's time to bring that out. And so I really think that we could benefit more than not from this. I mean, it really depends, but you can benefit from it if you want to, based on kind of what you want to put into the void, to just let go and let it be. Let it go and let it die. You know how, like, when people talk about manifestation and they say, think about what you want, write it down, do this, do that, and then just let it go. That's also what I see with this as well, because Scorpio is the sign of magic. So I can see that definitely with this as well. I'm not saying like people are going to be manifesting and all that stuff. I mean, I know that a lot of, hello, this really is that perfect time. But I'm saying that sentiment of not being attached to it, not being attached to the outcome, I see that a lot with this transit as well. So, if you have this transit going on in your 4th house, I could see the high life expanding in regards to your home. So remember, Jupiter, not so much Jupiter, but I feel like Pisces is this energy of gratitude. And you have to kind of look, or sometimes we think getting that is the high life. I have to get there. That's my high life. I have to do that in order to get high. And sometimes we forget that high is simply a state of being, being high on life. And so I feel like, if you have this in the 4th house, it can kind of show like, where are you high in your home? I'm sure that there are things that you do when you're home to get high. And I'm not talking about literally doing drugs, or, it could be when you're baking. It could be when you're cleaning, it could be whatever it is to you. Like, when do you feel high? When you're at home? Or not even that. It could also be just looking around at, oh my gosh, before I wanted this, or before I didn't have my own home, and now I have my own home. Like I really feel like this is the energy of gratitude as well with this transit. And so looking around at your home, at the things that you do have, that you did want in the past, that you have now, okay? And thinking about what you want later too, you know, what else you would want to get more of this high feeling in your home. If this conjunction is happening in your 8th house, this one I see huge transformation, if I'm being completely honest. I could see this as, you know, where in your life has exchanging with others has been high, if that makes sense. You know, like when somebody gives you, okay, not everybody likes gossip, but some people do, and some people get high off gossip. And so one thing I can see with this, which it's not giving gossipy energy, do not get me wrong, like it really isn't, but this is an analogy that's coming, is you get like juicy gossip, but it's like, what are you giving back in return? You know, I'm not saying that you have to give back gossip or anything, but the 8th house is all about exchange and merging energies and resources and debt and depth and, you know, all of that intimacy and whatnot. So I feel like it's going to show like where intimacy, right? And that exchange of very valuable, whether it be information or things or whatever the case may be, how that has been like showing up, how that is showing up in your life, how it has shown up, and how you want it to show up later. Because remember, Jupiter is really the beginning and the end of a cycle. Jupiter transits, the cycle is every 12 years. And if you didn't know, now you know, 12 is the number of the completion of a cycle. So, and that's why after Jupiter, well, let's not get into that. Anywho, is that what I wanted to say? Or no? No, yeah. Let's just not say it because I'm not 100% sure, and I'd rather be, I don't have to be 100% sure before I say it because, you know, edits and whatnot, but like, I'm like, let me at least be like 70% sure. Anywho, so this energy is going to be very interesting for people who have Pisces in the 8th house. Definitely think so. And I see it, definitely people have Pisces in the 12th house as well. This is going to be very interesting, specifically 23 degrees. Remember, wherever you have 23 degree Pisces, it's going to be very interesting energy for all of us, okay? As far as the collective goes and how I see this kind of working alongside the collective, right? Because Pisces is the sign of the collective unconscious. It is the void, you know? And how I see this, if I'm being completely honest, I don't see it very well when it comes to the collective. That's just my personal opinion. The only reason why I say that is because, remember, Scorpio is the dark. Scorpio is magician energy. If you watched the Taurus North Node transit talk, I talk a little bit about Scorpio in relation to this very orchestrated magic show that we're living in. And I don't really like how I see it alongside with Pisces, because Pisces can be very delusional, and as a collective it can kind of be the delusion of the collective, and the collective bringing in some type of energy that is unbeknownst to us, you know. If we're not careful is what I'm trying to say. This can be us ushering, because remember, the collective is the one that ushers. It can be us ushering something that is dark within us all. Again, hello, the collective, right? What we all fear when it comes to Scorpio. What's, you know, when you think about the 8th house or Scorpio in regards to the collective, right? It's about the things that you don't want to talk about at the dinner table. It's those are those conversations that you can only have with your special friends and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, so I can see it being a very interesting time in regards to the collective and those specific types of topics, but I can see it getting manipulated. Those topics getting manipulated. And remember, Pisces, or specifically Neptune, is very much the type of energy of subliminals. Okay, so that's what I want to say. Like, I just want us all to, if you're watching this, I'm sure you know, and we're all protected. Like, at the end of the day, even the people who don't know that they're protected, we're all protected. But I'm saying in regards to the collective and kind of what gets brought forth, and it's not going to be brought forth. I really don't see it. Or if it is, again, it's a magic show, so it's not really going to be, but I don't really see it as something good for the collective. And again, when it comes to dichotomy and, what is good, what is bad, it's on the same spectrum. What I'm saying is, I can see this, and something that's working against you really is working for you, and something that's working for you is working against you, and blessings are curses in disguises, and curses are blessings in disguise. So I mean, it's whatever we make it to be. Again, at the end of the day, everything is for our evolution, right? Basically what I'm trying to say, what I've realized that I'm trying to say at this point is that I can see this transit being for our highest spiritual development, and I'm gonna leave it at that. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that you guys are enjoying this Aries season. It's actually an Aries new moon right now as I'm recording this, and I hope that you have a lovely rest of your Aries season, and that this Jupiter Neptune conjunction in Pisces does you swell. Bye.